From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is AgDay.
On a mission.
We get up because we're here to take care of others.
See how an Arkansas farm family is helping to educate future generations. Two recent farmland sales are making headlines. See how much people were willing to pay. And a last-minute decision from the EPA.
Then the final comes out and there was more restrictions in it.
What it means for a key herbicide many farmers utilize right now on AgDay.
AgDay is brought to you by Pioneer. Ben's, please hold.
Yeah, Ben's has been busy all day.
Seems like no one can keep up with this new Z series. What did you all put in these seeds?
Science.
Good morning, I'm Michelle. Year Clinton is on assignment. The Environmental Protection Agency has made a label change to an important crop protection tool for U.S. farmers at the last minute. A new registration for glufosinate P was announced October 18th. However, EPA lagged in releasing the label for the registration, and the recent public posting shows additional restrictions. Now, the American Soybean Association says it's alarmed with the changes EPA made on the label for glufosinate P.
There was no buffer strip at all for a ground application. And in the final registration, they put in a 10-foot buffer. And we went from having to have 1 point in the mitigation strategy for up to 3 points.
Meadows says this sets a dangerous precedent for EPA's treatment of crop protection products under the Endangered Species Act. ASA says the changes came without explanation and indicate EPA caved to pressure from environmental groups.
You know, when it was in the comment period, basically environmental groups were, very open in the fact that they didn't think that those were sufficient restrictions. And, then the final comes out and there was more restrictions in it. So we think that is a real possibility.
Meadows says the change is costly for his operation, and some producers may not be able to use this crop protection tool at a time when they need every option to combat weed resistance. The EPA says the label change is part of its broader plan to efficiently meet its Endangered Species Act obligations by standardizing mitigation and protecting listed species from herbicides, including conventional herbicides used in agriculture. As we first told you last week, more than half of ag economists surveyed in the Ag Economist Monthly Monitor think agriculture is already in a recession. But don't tell the Iowa and Missouri land markets that. Two land sales last week came in at a whopping $17,000 per acre, and one in Iowa topped $20,000 just this week. According to Iowa land appraiser Jim Rothermick, the biggest surprise was a sale in Iowa County, Iowa. It consisted of 3 tracts, and the first tract sold for $17,000 per acre. He says what makes this sale so surprising is that land has been in CRP for 40 years. Now, he describes it as extremely rare, telling us CRP ground typically is sold at a discount.
I talked to the auctioneer after that auction to get the results, and when he told me the results, I kind of almost dropped the phone. But it was, south of Williamsburg, Iowa. And so there's some pretty good buyers in that area. Not a lot comes up for sale. And so two local buyers kind of got in a bidding war with that. But and so the price run up to $17,000 an acre. And the auctioneer was telling me that it had been in CRP for 40 years. And still had several years left on the CRP contracts.
Rothermick telling AgDay there is still a group of buyers flush with cash, but these high dollar sales aren't happening as frequently. The overall farmland market trend is prices are gradually going lower, but not crashing. We're continuing to keep you updated on the fate of Pure Prairie poultry. A group of senators, including Iowa Republican Senator Joni Ernst, is now demanding answers from USDA. As we first reported Tuesday, the Iowa Department of Agriculture says it euthanized roughly 1.3 million chickens. Now, that's after Pure Prairie Poultry said in late September that due to its bankruptcy, it could no longer afford to buy feed for its flock living in 14 Iowa farms. Now, contracted farmers in Wisconsin and Minnesota were also affected. Ernst says Pure Prairie Poultry was only in business for a few short years. And in that time, she says the company received $45 million in grants and loans from USDA. Nearly $7 million of that was from USDA's Meat and Poultry Processing Expansion Program. The company also received a $38.7 million loan from USDA's Food Supply Chain Guaranteed Loan Program. According to the lawmakers' letter, close to 2 million chickens were left without feed or any processing option. A USDA spokesperson defending the department's program, saying they have worked to rebuild and create new markets for U.S. farmers after challenges posed by trade wars and the COVID-19 pandemic. Rain showers are setting up for today from Texas all the way into northern Michigan. Meteorologist Matt Engelbrecht has more.
All right, looking out for those big systems, the ones that bring us widespread showers and strong wind in and across the United States. This is Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the morning. Start to see a shift away from a ridge of high pressure to a trough that is going to bring about not only a cold front, but also more widespread showers. Not expecting much in the way of flooding, but there is going to be the potential for some stronger storms as we go through our Wednesday into our Thursday, parts of Oklahoma back up here to the north. So again, this Wednesday at 7 a.m. As I advance this through, you see the rain really line up out ahead of this next trough and behind this ridge. That's again where the best chance of rain is going to be for our Thursday morning and into our Thursday afternoon as all of this works off to the east. Quiet weather will return. It's just going to be a little windy for our Thursday, Friday, even into our Saturday as that cold front settles through. But the one thing about this next cold front, it stays cold or it cools down for a few days, and then expecting temperatures to go right back up as we get through the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. And another farmer wrapping up harvest, Justin, sending this one in of Indiana, says he's thankful for such a great crew. And of course, for the folks at home, keeping them fed. I'll have more on your forecast coming up.
And Halloween hasn't arrived yet, and already we're talking about Christmas. This 20-foot Fraser fir from Avery County, North Carolina has been selected as this year's White House Christmas tree. It will be several weeks before the Christmas centerpiece is shipped to Washington. It comes at a critical time for Cartner's Christmas tree farm. The owners say they lost more than 5,000 trees during Hurricane Helene.
All the generosity that people from all around the U.S. have shown coming in to help those people that lost so much in the flood, and we want this tree to represent the good things.
They say they're thankful for this recognition and this welcome attention for their community. Wheat tries to bounce back from Monday's losses and pull corn with it. I'll have more on that and the rest of the market moves coming up. And meet an Arkansas family on a mission and their unique farm in the country. Well, grains ending mixed on Tuesday. Wheat futures to the plus side as well as corn, while soybeans were lower. Mike Zuzolo with Global Commodity Analytics is back with us. And let's talk about wheat. It was the price leader, but that lower crop rating at 8% kind of pushed the market, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, I think, Michelle. I think it was a big surprise. And the fact that Kansas, as the number one wheat producing state, also at 38%, compared to 47% last year on both national numbers and Kansas numbers for good to excellent, I think added to the short covering desire. And I suspect it was the funds. I think even more maybe potentially price friendly was the emergence number coming in below 60%.
And the corn market was a bit higher. Did it just follow wheat? Was that strong demand or the fact that crude oil at least wasn't imploding?
Yeah, I think the crude oil was a big player, and I think that spread, the wheat corn spread, has been getting pounded pretty hard, wheat minus corn. It's nice to see that firm up. I wonder if there wasn't probably some unwinding of that spreading, and the corn wasn't able to take out its weekly high as a result of that. But with 80% or so harvested now and basis starting to come up, our basis here in Atchison, I think jumped 6 or 7 cents on Tuesday. I think we're starting to feel that strong export demand along with the end of harvest is going to probably bring the cash corn market back around.
And soybean setting back, is that all about South America and this faster planting progress we have now or not?
I think that's a third of it. I think the South American planting progress, Brazil now at 40%, getting caught up, and the fact that may be offset the fact that we're almost 90% harvested here in this country. Probably one of the three legs of the stool, the other one being maybe the crude oil market not really coming around, that keeping the soy oil market really contained and not really wanting to find any short covering. But the real negative feature continues to be, for I think a fifth week in a row now, the soy meal market hitting a 49-month low, being led by the Chinese soy meal futures. It's the lowest since June of 2020.
Thanks so much. Mike Zuzolo, Global Commodity Analytics. We'll have more AgDay coming up. Watch Markets Now with Michelle Rook on the Farm Journal YouTube channel, keeping you updated throughout the day on the markets at the open, midday, and close. Find out what moved the markets today and what to expect the market to do next.
Overall, that precipitation forecast that we're going to be tracking, that has most of the rain isolated to the cold front. A line of showers, perhaps some isolated thunderstorms into Oklahoma and back up here, possibly into Iowa and Wisconsin early Thursday morning. That's the next 24 hours. You see the ridge right here, the trough digging back here, and then that cold front is where we're going to have the best coverage, the best chance of seeing some showers in and across the area. As we switch into that weekend forecast, not expecting much in the way of significant rainfall, but a lot more lining back up along some areas that certainly need the rain in the next 7 days. There's still some pockets out there where we're seeing dry air back in North Carolina, North and South Carolina, as well as up in the Dakotas. What this doesn't show is the severe weather potential, but also the wind. Overall wind forecast is going to stay high across the United States on the other side of that cold front coming through on Thursday. The jet stream is going to look something like this. This is a more fall or autumn pattern setting up across the United States. You got a big ridge over here towards the east and a trough out here to the west. Up until this point, what we've been missing in the jet stream were these strong troughs that bring down that colder air. So this is going to be kind of the first, based on what I'm seeing, the first real one of the season, but it's going to take some time for that colder air to settle in and across the United States. So what that means is as soon as that ridge breaks down, as soon as that trough comes through, by Saturday and Sunday, temperatures are once again going to return back above average for a large portion of the United States. Now that's Saturday and into Sunday. This is the next trough that we're going to be keeping a track of in regards to cooler temperatures, a little bit deeper rain chances, and some strong winds. But check out this pattern on Sunday and Monday of next week. Big ridge over the United States, waiting on this next trough, possibly next Monday and into Tuesday. Vivian, Minnesota, we got some evening showers, high around 65 degrees, low of 37. Melvin, North Dakota, 25 degrees, morning clouds and some evening sunshine. Pruitt, New Mexico, sunny, high of 49 degrees.
Coming up, the latest pork profit margins we're seeing and what could be to come. And how a devastating fire caused this family to switch directions and return to the farm in the country. The latest Sterling Profit Tracker shows hog producers are still seeing grain. The weekly profit tracker shows farrow to finish hog producers saw $4.25 per head profits last week. Now that is down from the $5.44 margins reported the week before, but it is a major improvement from a year ago when farrow to finish producers were facing losses of more than $17 per head. Even with producers seeing profits today, it will be difficult to dig out from the losses they saw last year. And one economist thinks the 3-year stretch we're currently in could end up being worse than the late 1990s. Iowa State University's Lee Schultz estimates that U.S. pork producers will see an average loss of $13 per head during 2023 to 2025. If that forecast holds true, that will mark the worst 3-year period for profitability in history, even worse than from 1997 to 1999. During those 3 years, average losses were $12 per head. Our September Ag Economist Monthly Monitor asked economists, what is the potential impact to the industry and how is it different than what we saw in the 1990s? One economist said, quote, in the short run, not much minimal increase in consolidation. Long run, some supply adjustment. It depends on who has the deepest pockets. But another economist responded by saying, quote, this leads to more concentration. And pork producers looking for a new revenue stream may have that chance. The National Pork Board announcing producers in 9 additional states are now eligible for USDA's Climate Smart Farming Grant. Originally offered in Iowa, Minnesota, and Missouri only, the grant is now being expanded to farmers also in Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Nebraska, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. The grant is called Advancing U.S. Pork Sustainably and Market Value Grant Program. The funding is provided by USDA but is being implemented through the National Pork Board. With matched funds, a total of $35 million is available. The cost share opportunity allows producers to receive financial and technical support for adopting climate-smart farming practices. Coming up, an Arkansas family on a new mission. How this farm is working to educate future farmers in the country.
AgDay is brought to you by Winfield United. Unlock the full potential of every field with Winfield United crop protection solutions built from decades of research. Built for success, built for you, built for it. Learn more at winfieldunited.com.
When Tia and Ryan Broderick's family experienced a life-changing house fire in Colorado, they decided it was time for a change. Soon thereafter, they moved back to Arkansas and began a new journey and a new mission, as the Arkansas Farm Bureau shows us.
I swore off farming and ranching, said we'd never do it. And then we went from being a real estate agent in Colorado to having the owners of this place, when we approached them about buying it, giving us a Katahdin hair sheep ram. We started our little journey in 2018 when we had a house fire in Colorado. And so we came back to Arkansas. I learned to ride horses on this property. It's not family property, but it kind of is. My grandparents are farmers and ranchers. I'm 7th generation.
Yeah, I grew up in the city, moved all over the country, mostly Utah, Idaho, and Oregon. And I met her while I was in the military, and then over the years I had been helping her pawpaw with like his hay and stuff, or working fence, so I got a taste, but it was very much a crash course landing when we came here. And
so we have 3 kids, Mariella, Owen, and Ariana. They help us in every aspect of the farm.
our kids have done tons of things that I'm sure a vast majority of children in this country don't even have a clue that that's how things work on a farm.
Now we have dairy cattle. We have brown Swiss, Jerseys, and milking shorthorns. And then we have Kuni pigs. And then we have the Katahdin hair sheep. And we have chickens and turkeys and quail.
How it really started is Tia brought 2 dairy cattle in the back of our Toyota Highlander. And you know, we had to figure out what we were going to do with that. They were just babies.
Heifers.
Yeah, they were just bottle babies, had just been born, and you know, that we knew that would take, you know, up 2 years before we'd get their first calf. And so we're like, well, if we're going to do it, let's go ahead and do it. And so we bought one, and you know, naturally that progressed to, well, we have to have a way to sell this milk. We put it in a fridge, started in our garage, put it in milk, and then we moved out here into the store. We built that and got that done, the little market we have, and what else can we produce that will make their lives better. So we started processing our pigs and our sheep with a USDA processor so that we would be able to do that with the meat that we have.
And we also found that with producing the milk and having the beef and having the pork and having the lamb, that our mission changed. We are here to feed families, and that is our mission. We get up every morning at 5 a.m. for others, not for ourselves. We get up because we're here to take care of others. We teach classes to make cheese, butter, any of the homesteading classes, how to raise your animals, just to give others the tools that we have that have been forgotten. I can't think of a different life now. It's home.
And our thanks to the Arkansas Farm Bureau for sharing that story. And that's all the time we have for this morning. Thanks for watching. For all of us here at AgDay, I'm Michelle Rook. Have yourself a great day.